Music is an essential part of human life. Now, when I say this, I'm talking about how a lot of people probably don't really listen to music a whole lot. Maybe some people are like, oh, I'm not really a huge fan of it, or it's just not my type of thing. But a lot of people simply just can't live without it. So many people are essentially glued to it that there's no way that someone can be without it. And I find that so interesting. Why do so many people have so many strong feelings towards it? For the emotional sense, for the physical sense, for anything like that. People have always had such a direct connection with music, and so in today's video I want to talk over the emotional side of music, why we feel emotional towards things, why do humans have such strong connections to music in general. Enjoy! Now, music attaches itself to memories. Now, think about this. Your first childhood memories. What do you think of, riding a bike, for the first time you making food, maybe, for some people, your first words, if you can even remember what they are. Most likely not. But for me, a lot of my early life memories come from music, things that I heard from my parents and growing up in those environments. I get that some people aren't music families, but there's a lot of people who have certain memories and certain things attached to songs, and that gives us a partial part of why music is just so emotional in general. It's all memory attachment, which can make us emotional when we listen to it. Because whether it's a relative who's died in the family or someone else, there can be a certain emotional draw out for the person because they can remember the memories that they had with them and the songs that they had listened to at the time. So it gives us this realization, this remembering of all the events that had happened with that person when we hear a certain song or when something comes on in general. Which is often why a lot of songs give much deeper meaning to it. When an artist writes a song sometimes, they don't really think about the deeper meaning that can happen with them. But some people have such a strong emotional connection with them, purely just because of a really, really good memory they had with someone. And it makes the song deeper than even what it is. When the artist may write the lyrics originally, they may think of it as a more generic line. Some people can have the song even more deeper, purely just because of their enjoyment of it. As humans, I find it really unique that we have all these memories with songs that we treasure and really care about. And on top of that, there's a lot of music out there that we listen to. So for people and artists in general, just to have one song that it's like, oh, we have a deep emotional connection to that, I think it's a pretty special thing as an artist. Now on top of that, there's a lot of very human feeling songs. Most songs nowadays, we're excluding AI obviously, that humans write them, but they just feel so much more human than what it is. A lot of those songs really have a bigger emotional attachment to people because of the way they're written. For me, one of those types of songs is Journey. The way the song is written and the way the song is compiled really gives off the fact that this was made with real emotion, real intent. The song is just written and created and produced in such a way where you're given this emotional hit and this emotional wave. And attached with the memories that we were talking about earlier, it only simply strengthens the song and people's opinions about them. Now, am I saying this for every song? No. Some people don't get anything from some songs, and because they don't necessarily grow up around them, they have no attachment to them. And when they listen to them, they don't get a whole lot of resolve out of them. Which is of course perfectly fine. But I do find it a special thing for art when someone can walk up to them and say, hey, your music has specifically changed my life or has really helped me in certain aspects because their music has benefited them so much in helping them bond with people that they love or the memories that they care about with others. I've kind of been talking about it a lot in this video, but nostalgia plays a massive part in people's experiences with music. School, work, anything, any major memories obviously bring back those certain feelings about certain songs. They always remind us of the older versions of ourselves that don't really exist anymore. And for sometimes that certain feeling that you get can be a very beautiful feeling, but also a very painful one. See, some songs can remind you for the first time when you heard it who you were at the time, which makes older songs for a lot of people even more heavier and emotional, because for them it reminds them of that specific person they were at the given time. And as you grow older, music starts to mean even more. The more songs that you listen to, the more life experiences you have, the more things just begin to stick more, and the more times you go back and revisit those older songs, the more emotional you can feel about them. See, there's a lot of people who find it hard to express emotions more normally, especially with some things like sadness or loneliness or some people's fears that they have about other things. But a lot of the time, music gives a lot of people the place to feel safe to have those emotions and to express them the way that they need to. And see, that's why I think so many people become deeply attached to music in the first place. And sometimes there's a lot of songs that can understand you better than other people. Almost like the song that you're listening to directly was specifically made for you originally in the first place. For me, simple music is sometimes the best music. Music that doesn't have a lot to say, but does at the exactly same time. Simple music for me is one of the best kinds of music. There isn't a lot going on in the song, but it just has so much to say, which gives a lot of emotion and a lot of feedback to it. And there's a lot of songs out there that are great and fantastic that only really have 4 chords in it, and that's it. And sometimes it's not about the complicated songs or the things that you try and impress people with. It's sometimes more about the simple structure and something simple to say, which really brings a lot of people together and gives the idea that this song is going to permanently resonate with me forever. Needless to say, simple songs for me are just some of the greatest. Songs never have to be complicated. I mean, of course, they're impressive to hear, or sometimes you can think of the production and go, yeah, that's really impressive. But for me, it's always about what can you do with what you have, and how can it stick really well with the audience that you've given. And on top of that, just to add to everything else that I'm saying, simple songs can also be extremely honest, and sometimes they're the most honest out of all of them. Honestly, guys, in general, music is just a strong emotional output to anyone. Even for people who don't really like music in general, there's always music they're listening to, whether it's the natural sounds of a car going or wind blowing past. It really resonates us back to something. And for me, it's always really just about how can the song be meaningful enough to me where it works really well, gives a certain emotion that comes out. Music has always had such a strong attachment to me and anyone in general, and I always really appreciate it. And I've always really appreciated it for what it is. And to be honest, today I couldn't say that I'd be the same person that I am right now if I hadn't listened to all the songs that I did when I was growing up, or that I'm doing now, or that are inspiring me to write more music now. And that's really all it's about. Enjoyment, having a good time out of it. So yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.